Some breaking news coming in this evening, and a big setback for the Tamil Nadu government. The Madras High Court passes interim order staying land acquisition for the CM's pet project, which is the Salem-Chennai 8-way expressway lane. The stay was passed on a plea filed by many, including PMK MP Anpumani Ramadas. Remember, this has been Tamil Nadu government's pet project, the 10,000 crore rupee project of an 8-way lane joining Salem and Chennai. Let's get in further inputs. Our correspondent Pramod Madhav now joins me on the phone line. Pramod, this is of course a big setback for the Tamil Nadu government. They have time and again tried to highlight the importance of this 8-way, which has certainly met with stiff opposition.
Well, that is true, and as you might know, the budget for this project was itself like 10,000 crores, and a vast land was to be acquired between Chennai to Salem, going through 3 districts, Krishnagiri and Tiruvannamalai and Dharmaburi. And what's happening is that even reserve forests are going to be used for it. In the stuff from the beginning itself, there was a lot of confusion as to like how many what is the kind of the land that would be acquired, because the Highway Authority gave a different number, and it's Chief Minister in the Assembly gave a different number that led to a lot of confusion. And not just that, people were not adequately informed. The authorities just went with a huge number of police and tried to get the land, and that led to a lot of issues, protests. Many were arrested, farmers were arrested who stated that they will not give the land. So that gave me a big issue. And what happened is that it also went to the court, where PMK MLA Anpumani Ramadas and various others filed the case. In the plea, they stated that the authorities went to the farmers without land, without their permission, stating that an order, a kind of a paper clip was published before 21 days, and that was the only way of the government notifying the public. And the farmers asked like one question, whether if they are reading the paper or they'll go to the land to cultivate their field. So that became an issue, and the Madras High Court finally took cognizance of it, stating that even though the government states all these points, stating that once a land has been taken for a road, and the trees that are cut will be, new plants will be placed. The government is not maintaining it, and based on this one, it has passed its interim stay until further notice.
Right, Pramod, stay with us. Political analyst Suvansi Raman also joins me on the phone line this broadcast. Good evening, sir. In your view, this is not the first time that the Madras High Court has taken a decision against the Tamil Nadu government's pet project, but clearly at a time when several times there has been highlighted how there are concerns of environment, there are concerns of adequately compensating the farmers. We see how this case is time and again coming up.
No, I think you have to understand this is an interim stay order, and they obviously want to know more details from both sides. So the matter is going to be heard on 13th of September, and thereafter, I don't expect that this stay would, prevail for a long time. Obviously, when an issue is raised, it is the Honorable Court will want to satisfy itself about the concerns of the petitioners and then take a decision. So, I don't see this as a huge setback for the project, and after all, it's a question of 22-23 days only. So, I would not go as far as saying that the project is getting stopped.
Mr. Raman, do you believe the concerns that have been put forth by environmentalists in terms of almost more than 3 lakh trees to be cut, and also of the farmers where they are said to be losing a lot of land, are those concerns something that will also be taken into consideration according to you?
Look, the decision of following the environmental guidelines would obviously be insisted on by the court. But as far as where a road should be constructed itself, as long as it does not violate the laws of the land, it should be left to the executive, which is the government to decide. Now, I don't believe that the court is going to get into this issue of saying where a highway is needed or where a highway is not needed. I think they will go by what the law of the land is, what the rules say as far as the environment clearances and so on are concerned, and take a decision based on that. So I'm not sure that this is actually going to be a huge setback. Obviously, the court would need to satisfy itself that all the guidelines and norms are being followed. And that is why they have given an interim stay.
Right. Mr. Raman, one final question before I let you go. There has been, it seems there have been discriminatory statements there coming in of the Tamil Nadu government as well. They've not been able to really highlight how much of the land is going to be put into use, and there have been contradictory statements coming in from the National Highway Authority of India as to what the Tamil Nadu government had said in the assembly. Are these also some things that needs to be put out in black and white for everybody to understand what are the implications of this project?
No, I think the project itself has significant benefits. Now, the question is, can it be done without violating any of the norms and the rules that exist? Now, the question is how the government is actually going to implement the project without violating the norms. And towards that end, I think environmentalists have a right to challenge it and raise their concerns in court. And it's the duty of the government to address those concerns and ensure that the project is successfully implemented without violating the norms.
All right, Mr. Sumant Siravan, many thanks for joining us on this broadcast. Let me take one quick question from Pramod at this point. Pramod, time and again we've seen environmentalists, farmers coming out in stiff opposition, but over these times when even this matter has been taken up by the Madras High Court several times, has the Tamil Nadu government come out in any way to outline whether the development of this is not going to hamper either the farmers or, for that matter, will pose any kind of environmental concerns?
Well, for one reason, what the Tamil Nadu government is providing as an answer is that this construction of the road will provide more jobs to the people, and it will also create a better way for industrial zones and things like that. But when we spoke to authorities from Salem itself, we put forward this plain question to them asking, is Salem requiring this particular highway right now? Because the already present highway and this highway has only a distance reduction of 50 kilometers, and maybe that would go for an hour's reduction of distance. So we have to take over so many farmlands and go through certain hills. It's in fact being said like many hills will also be completely removed from the location to create such a short path. These hills have a lot of significance, especially very eco-sensitive zones and things like that. And that's the reason environmentalists are fighting for it. And the authorities there only very clearly stated that this is a policy decision. For instance, they cannot provide any kind of answer like when we create this 8-way lane, when the future course of buildings are going to be constructed, industries are going to be constructed, because till now there is no memorandum of understanding with any major concern to construct anything over there, because only 3 months back they started at the Salem airport, started having one more aircraft. Until then, there was not even any proper aircraft over there. So these kind of things are there. That's the reason this kind of environmentalists and farmers are claiming that the cost of the people's earnings and things that is being spent on it, plus 10,000 crores, is not something that is required right now, because already Salem is connected to 3 different highways, and the most shortest one is only 1 hour's distance, which can be definitely maintained because there is not even 50% traffic on the road. These are the points that have been produced by the analysts while fighting for this.
All right, many thanks, Pramod, for getting us those details.